Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder why some people feel more detached or disconnected from themselves? And what might be going on inside their minds? Well, this new study dives deep into that question, exploring the hidden connections between our bodies, our minds, and our experiences of trauma. This research looks at something called dissociation. It is a big word, but basically it means a feeling of being detached from your thoughts, feelings, memories, or even your sense of self. Think of it like a glitch in how your brain connects different parts of your experience. It can range from feeling spaced out for a moment to more intense experiences where you feel like you are not really present. For a long time, people have linked dissociation to trauma, suggesting it is a way the mind protects itself from overwhelming experiences. Another idea is that it might be related to things like fantasy or how easily we can be influenced and even problems with sleep. But this study wanted to see if there was something else, something right under our noses helping to tie all these things together. Interoception. Interoception is your body's ability to sense what is going on inside you. It is how you know if you are hungry, if your heart is racing, if you are feeling tense, or if you are calm. It's like an internal GPS for your body's state. The researchers in this study suspected that messed up interoception might be a key piece of the puzzle in understanding dissociation. They wondered if problems sensing or understanding your own body signals could be the bridge connecting trauma, sleep issues, and dissociative experiences. To figure this out, they didn't just look at one thing at a time. They used a cool method called network analysis. Imagine all these different experiences and symptoms as dots on a map. Network analysis helps us draw lines between these dots, showing how strongly they're connected. Some lines are thick, meaning a strong connection, and some are thin, meaning a weaker one. The researchers wanted to see which dots were the most important, the ones that had the most connections to other dots, and which dots acted like bridges. Connecting different groups of symptoms, they gathered data from over 500 adults in Poland. Participants filled out a bunch of questionnaires about their past trauma exposure, their sleep quality, how they experienced their bodily sensations, and their dissociative symptoms. So, what did they find? It is pretty interesting. Contrary to what some theories might suggest, things like trauma exposure or even sleep quality weren't the most central players in this interconnected web of symptoms. Instead, what really stood out were aspects of interoception and emotional regulation. Specifically, a part of dissociation called absorption, which is like getting lost in an experience really strongly, had a lot of connections, and a symptom called affective dysregulation, which means having trouble managing your emotions. It was a big connector between different symptom groups. Also super important were autonomic reactivity, which is like your body's fight or flight system being easily triggered, and emotional awareness, which is about understanding your own feelings. This is a really big takeaway. The study suggests that the persistent feeling of disconnection and dissociation might be more about how a person processes their internal bodily signals and manages their emotions, rather than just the memory or impact of a traumatic event itself. It implies that problems with sensing and understanding your body's internal state could be the common thread that links different pathways to dissociation. Think of it this way. If your internal alarm system for danger or discomfort is always a bit off tune, it might make you more prone to feeling detached as a way to cope. One of the most surprising findings was that specific types of trauma exposure, like abuse, didn't actually show up as central nodes in the network of symptoms they investigated. Now, this doesn't mean trauma isn't important. The researchers point out that the way they measure trauma might have missed some nuances, especially neglect, which is a key part of attachment trauma and is strongly linked to dissociation. But the results do suggest that focusing solely on trauma exposure might miss important pieces of the picture. The internal experience of the body and emotional regulation seem to be playing a more direct and central role in how dissociative symptoms manifest and connect with other issues. So, what does this mean for us? The fact that interoception and related processes are so central has exciting implications for treatment. If problems with your body awareness and emotional regulation are fueling dissociation, then therapies that help improve these areas could be incredibly effective. The researchers suggest that things like mindfulness practices, body-oriented therapies, or even something called somatic experiencing, which focuses on releasing trauma stored in the body, could be really beneficial. By helping people reconnect with and better understand their internal bodily signals, we might be able to heal those feelings of disconnection. Now, It is important to remember that all research has its limits. This study was what we call cross-sectional, meaning they looked at a snapshot in time. This makes it hard to say for sure that interoception causes dissociation, or if it is the other way around, or if something else is influencing both. They also relied on self-report measures, meaning people answered questions about themselves. Future studies could use more objective measures of body signals, like heart rate or brain activity, and follow people over time to see how these things develop together. Also, as the authors mentioned, their trauma measure didn't fully capture neglect, which could be a really important factor missing from the picture. In big picture terms, this study highlights the complex, interconnected nature of our mental and physical experiences. It shifts the focus, suggesting that the pathway to understanding and treating dissociation might lie in improving our connection to ourselves, our bodies, and our emotions. By better understanding these internal signals, we might find a key to feeling more whole and present. If you found this research as fascinating as I did, please give this video a like. Comment below with your thoughts on interoception and dissociation. And don't forget to subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of the mind. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.